It's nice to unwind after a long.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on. That's our opening for tonight. What my beagle does when I'm not home. First of all, I don't know why you would set a toaster oven to have chicken nuggets in it when you're not home, but that's what happened, and that's what the dog did. He figured out how to get the chicken nuggets. So again, thank you all very much for clicking on. It is Late Night America. It is a Saturday night special edition, if you will. A lot of stuff happening, and I didn't want to have a really crowded episode tomorrow night because Von Michel's going to be on tomorrow night. So I wanted to get a few things out of the way, news-wise, make you aware of it, give you something to think about ahead of time, and just say hello to everybody. So, hello, Mater. Hi, Sissy. Ohana. The Beagle dog. Yeah. I saw that and I thought, okay, there's my opening. Hello to Tanya Anderson. Hey, Telescope. Riddle me this. Hello. Again, thank you all for being here. Bunny. Always be kind. GA from CA. Hello, Shannon. Von Michelle. You can come on tonight if you want to come on tonight. I was planning on tomorrow night. I thought you were too. Hold on a second. But yeah, if you want to come on tonight, you can do that too. I'll just leave it up to you. Hi, Just Joan. Hey, Lori Arnold. Unicorn Rainbow. Your show calms me through the craziness of this country. Well, thank you, Shannon, but I got some more craziness coming up. Sassy Pants, hi. Hi, Debbie Ann. D. Is stream crackling forever? Everyone? I hope not. You're up for now? Okay, Von Michelle. All right, hang on just a second here. Let me do our quick stuff real quick. Our normal stuff, and then we will bring you right up. Here's what's happening as far as breaking news around mainstream media. NBC News: Georgia Senate runoff smashing early voting records and attracts new voters. Usually an increase in voters turnout is a good thing for Democrats historically. Just saying. Especially early turnout, because a lot of Republicans traditionally only vote on election day. Axios Representative James Comer wants Twitter employees to talk to Congress. Sounds like they may be going after Elon Musk. Rail workers speak out after Biden forces unions to accept deal. He turned his back on them, is what the labor unions are saying. That comes from Fox Business. CNN: FedEx driver is arrested in the kidnapping and killing of a 7-year-old girl who went missing Wednesday. World gets the first look at the B-21 Raider. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes. Just keep this in mind. That release comes from the Department of Defense. Okay. Washington Post: why paid sick leave became a big issue in the rail labor talks. Again, I'm assuming that the Biden administration feel like that rail is so crucial to us, and our supply chains are so strained, if you will, at the moment, that we can't go without rail. So because I don't know if he would have otherwise done that. All right. So that's what's happening mainstream wise. Let's run down the Twitter bookmarks real quick, and then we'll get Von Michelle up here, and I may just take tomorrow night off and watch the Colts game in its entirety. CNN, former President Donald Trump has called for the termination of the Constitution to overturn the 2020 election and reinstate him to power. This is the official, there's the official silver check mark, as well as a blue check mark. And this is from 5 hours ago. Trump calls for the termination of the Constitution in Truth Social post. And what was that post? Well, Keith Olbermann happened to screenshot it and repost it. Here's what he said. So with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception, and working closely with big tech companies, the DNC and the Democrat Party, do you throw the presidential election results of 2022 or 2020 out and declare the rightful winner, or do you have a new election? Question mark. Unless I'm not sure where the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception is coming from. It's just a rinse repeat of what's been coming out. But let's go ahead and finish. A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Our great founders did not want and would not condone false and fraudulent elections. I find that very dangerous personally, but that's my opinion, and I'm presenting it to you. You think about it and do with it as you wish. Olbermann says Trump threatens to terminate the Constitution, and he says send a military detachment to Mar-a-Lago, seize him, detain him in a stockade or brig, and try him in a military court. This is an open attempt at a revolution to overthrow the government. That's what Keith Olbermann reads into that. Okay, as I said, we have some more on the B-21 Raider. This is the latest stealth bomb the United States has, and U.S. has unveiled the latest bomber built by Northrop Grumman, and this is from a UFO tracking site. Let's just say that everyone who had, quote, secret government spy plane on the UFO bingo sheet is patting themselves on the back. We're getting played with propaganda again with these recent UFO reports leaks. So, this is about the, to me, this is not about, okay, looks a little bit like a UFO. Maybe that's not what this is about to me. To me, this is about the timing and who put this out there. We are facing threats with Russia, from Russia. We are facing threats from North Korea. We are facing threats potentially from China, from Iran. Numerous places the United States is potentially facing threats. To me, the timing of this is, look, we've got at least this that you're not aware of, that you don't know about, whoever you may be. It's kind of being released to the world. And that to me is the significance of this, the timing, the mind play, if you will, of putting this out there and saying we've got this UFO-looking craft that is stealth. You will not see it coming, hear it coming. You'll only know it's been there once you're blowed up. So The timing of it, the release of this, I think it's a little one-upmanship, because a lot of people are talking about China having hypersonic missiles. Any missile that is intercontinental ballistic is going to be hypersonic. Okay, it's just the Chinese missiles are a lot faster than ours at this point, according to what we seem to know intelligence-wise. But you know, what you think you know and what you know, who you think you know and who they turn out to be. It's a mumbled up, jumbled up, shook up world, except for Lola. This came 8 hours ago. Join us, other civil liberties groups, and concerned residents on Monday at 9:30 a.m. at the City Hall in San Francisco to tell everybody no killer robots. Rally against the San Francisco Police Department deadly force robots. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is the very first time I've ever heard anything at all about police departments potentially deploying deadly force robots, but I'm not shocked. Israel, this came 5 hours ago. Israel currently bombing the Gaza Strip, the world's largest. Well, okay, that's. Here's the one I wanted to make sure we did not overlook. Quote: "This is something to think about. A long habit of not thinking a thing wrong gives it the superficial appearance of being right, and raises a formidable outcry in defense of that custom." From Thomas Paine, 1775. So, if for a long time people are thinking that something which is wrong is okay, like white supremacy as an example. If people for a long time have thought that white supremacy was okay, then it gives it the superficial appearance of being okay. And it raises a formidable outcry in defense of that. It's going to be really hard. People aren't going to change their minds. I say it's going to be really hard because of things we've already seen in the Twitter scroll. And I want to get through this and get on Michelle up here. Palestinian media reports surface-to-air missiles fired at Israeli aircraft. Iran accuses of stealing bodies of slain protesters as families rush to reclaim loved ones. Why would they do that, you're asking? Well, because those bodies become symbols, they're martyrs, and they become rallying points. And Iran is trying to stop that. According to leaked documents, 115 members of Iran's armed forces have been arrested over support for the protesters. And again, here's one of the earlier, one of the first images of the Israeli Air Force launching a strike in Gaza. You got one of the first videos that came out. Again, this was about 4 hours ago. And that's what's happening in my bookmark timeline for the night. And then I've got to share this real fast. Look what I found popped up in my recommendations today on YouTube. Behind the Mirror was back for, well, it was streamed 8 hours ago. It was a 7-minute, 20-second appearance But behind the mirror back, is that a foreshadow of things to come, or things coming full circle, so to speak? I don't know. We'll find out. All right. Let me post this link and get our invited guest up here. Okay. Here we go. Vaughn Michelle. And again, hi everybody. Thank you all for clicking on. Thank you for watching. Whether you're watching live now, whether you're in the chat, or whether you're watching this recorded at another time, thank you very much for clicking on here. And we will get Vaughn Michelle up here. Hi Jules. Hi Patricia. Hi GA from CA. Mechanic Eric. You'll be on the new BTM shirt. I haven't got the old BTM shirt. It's all right, no worries. Hi Cunning Stunt. Vaughn is cool. The last episode we did, we had Telescope on, and I had a lot of comments, some emails, a couple of texts even from people that don't normally comment on the show that said they they had a newfound respect for Telescope, that they really appreciated what he did on his channel by reading everything that he had, and in the way that he presented it. So Telescope did good. Don't worry, americandufus channel, you'll be on the new one too. It'll be interesting to see what happens if indeed BTM comes back. Hi, Vaughn.
Hey, how do I get to see the tree and not me? I don't want to be on here like myself.
Right. I kind of figured that. Normally you don't show yourself.
Cool. Cool. Where's my? Let me shut this down. Okay.
Okay. All right. How are you?
Okay. I'm doing okay.
All we have is a black screen at the moment from you.
Works. Was it how it works? Go live on your channel, or am I supposed to this?
You're fine. Other than we don't see anything, we hear you. So
Here.
Huh?
Well, how do I do this? How it works? How do you go? How do I do this?
You're on. You're
okay.
on. I mean, we are talking together and everybody's hearing us. They're saying aim your camera to tree.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why I can't get.
Have you got your camera turned off?
No.
In the green room. There you go. All right. Yes, your camera's recognized. There you go. Now it's vibrating every time you speak.
Oh, see, I suck at this.
No, you're all right. Don't worry about it.
I don't know how this is supposed to go, but wait, is that at YouTube? Okay. I don't know, folks. I don't know how to do this, so we'll just.
You're all right. We'll just talk. We'll just talk.
We'll just talk.
Ain't no big thing.
I talk about.
As long as Patricia says that we can hear you. Show us Santa Vaughn. Boomer Tifa.
See the chat. Like, I'll look at the chat on my TV because I can do that. What's this about Santa? For not wanting to be seen. Oh, look. lowest. No, I like 12 o'clock and I have my makeup on, nothing, so no, I'm not getting dolled up, But
Oh,
thank you.
were you going to get all dolled up tomorrow night and come on and
No,
unlock? No? Okay. All
no,
right.
not at 12
Okay.
o'clock at night. Not
All
unless I was
right.
going to a nightclub, doofus. If I was out clubbing it in those days, midnight. But those days are gone.
Yeah.
Those days are long gone.
No, not necessarily. It just depends where you go,
Yeah, I know.
who you're with.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Louis.
All right. All right. So you can see the chat now?
Let's see. Hey, everybody.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about?
Sissy says it's not her.
It's not me.
It's not you?
See? It's me.
It sounds like you, especially the laugh.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
I have
All
my
right.
teeth in and I took them out. Took the teeth out tonight. I'm doing real good here.
Have you had anything to drink?
Yeah, I've got my coffee. I have
Okay.
my
All right.
coffee
Good.
so I can stay awake.
She sounds so nice on here, not like on her live streams. It's her.
Yeah, that's true. Probably because of my live streams, I'm always bitching about something that, because I'm always upset. I think
So
that has a lot to do with it.
Are you upset about anything now?
Not real. I mean, I'm a little concerned about this revisit the Constitution. What's he trying to do?
He's wanting to terminate the Constitution.
How is that even possible? I mean,
it's revolution, and it's going. That's what I said earlier. I'm concerned because it's going to be, it's going to, the potential for it to get really serious really fast is there.
Yeah.
All it takes is one action by a group like, any kind of freedom group that wants Trump to be king.
Yeah.
So it's troubling to say the least, and I don't know how serious it's being taken. But it's something that I've kind of been expecting would happen, and ever since January 6th, to be honest with you. But it's troubling to me. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm reading Joel, like you say, he's going back to the original Constitution. See, this is where the problem right now with this so-called, what we thought was a freedom group, but ended up being, what are we talking about, the original Constitution? Like, what are they gaining by doing that? Like, what are they trying to do to put us? Like, what does that even look like? We're back at 1776.
No, actually, the Constitution wasn't adopted until 1791.
Yeah.
So,
but it's
what
just
it
like they
looks
don't
like,
want it at all.
they don't. No, they don't want it at all, including Trump, and he has come out now publicly and stated that. And for those that are still believing the lie, how much more of a green light are they going to get other than him being indicted? And I think that's probably one reason they haven't indicted him yet. They want to make sure they've got an airtight case, because when they do indict him, when they do, the potential for the poo-poo hitting the rotational cooling device is really there.
Yeah. Yeah, and Boris, to answer that, to the writer 17 and 18, people died at 35 back then. That young, it's not not the same as today's 16 or 17, 18-year-old. A little bit different. So they were more like this in their 30s or 40s when they wrote that mentally. So that's why you have them so young, Boris, and they wrote it. Live in this country without it. It has been very beneficial. To alter it, to go backwards, that's extremely, then you don't longer have the United States of America.
Exactly.
You don't.
Exactly.
You will lose.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
going to have anymore.
And to answer your original question, what are they trying to do? Well, they're trying to go back to what they say is the original Constitution, which is the Constitution itself, the document, and then the 10 original amendments or the Bill of Rights. Now, if you do that, then you take away all women's rights, you take away all minority rights, with all the amendments following, number 11 through number 28, you wipe out all those. But that's not what he's saying. He's saying terminate it. That needs to be an overthrow of the legitimate government in order to install him back in power. And people need to hear that. Now, whether he is serious about that, I know, the old saying, what you say can and will be used against you in a court. Well, if they are going to indict him for trying to overthrow the government, then that particular piece of social media is going to be highly relevant and very condemnatory.
This is recent that he said that then, correct?
Today.
Yeah.
Earlier today. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I came on was, I had to get this out that, hey, pay attention, head on a swivel,
Yeah. Well, I'm out now. Bonnie's out. I am not. I if you understand, you care about that Constitution. I understand extremely well what it is for. I am for the law, and when you're altering the law, breaking it, when they do the things like we're seeing currently with this particular, whatever this group that we talk so much about, but right, and I said this, and it's so true. We have been in a snow globe. My entire thought process is in that snow globe, and everything is going around and around and around. Was 6 months ago has changed. So I can tell. I know election, okay, where there are differences, sure, because I know how to vote. I'm 18 years old, and I never had to fill out in my life. I know where to vote. I go in person, blah, blah, blah. I knew when my name wasn't on that list, there was a problem.
Your name wasn't on the voter registry list.
No. When I
You'd been purged, in other words.
Yeah, and I was there for what was it, the midterm? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here. Okay, this is stop. So anyway, fast forward, here we are now. Okay, so long. I'm like, everybody's saying about, overturn the election, blah, blah. What does that even look like? What do any of you really, like all of you calling this, you want to see like a civil war again? I'm like, do you understand what really means? You know what that looks like? Because talking is one thing, and going forward towards that is completely different. And for it, I mean, yes, I was screwed, okay, but I am not for going even the shithead we have in here now. I don't care. You really are asking for here. And I still said when this J6, what I kept asking, what's the point? Why do we have, why I didn't go, but I still like, why are we supposed to go down here again?
Like, what's the point to this? Walk and kumbaya, sing along the way as what Trump rises up and then he's like our God and everybody's gonna say yay, like and then he's gonna do what? Go inside the Capitol and blah blah blah. Then what? Like, sense. It still doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. And you did have it where saying, sure, come in, whatever. And then you have this whole other, like, we really didn't know, like the ones in the jail now, okay? There are the insurrectionist losers that I used to thought, oh, that's horrible to say that, but they're supposed to be there. The ones that weren't guilty, they're not there. Now they should be there. So there, why those people are eligible for them? It doesn't make any sense to me. If it's making any sense. It's in this whole convoy shit, which I knew even when kids, I'm like, this isn't going to work in our country. In our country, people don't think they lost any freedom. Right when gas started to go up. So everything kind of worked together simultaneously that just was like, none of this makes any sense. Like, this isn't going to work with a bunch of grifters. And sure enough, that's what we have. It didn't make nothing was for the better. And now you have Trump, and now he's saying this shit. How much more can we take? We're like it's such a threshold as it is. Are we supposed to tolerate? I mean, I'm only speaking. I only did how many years? I just had enough. I had enough of watching lazy people, nothing, and then you find out about the pedophiles, and then there's not more. There's way more. They keep lying, and then you have the counter protesters, and then counter protesters. Now you see why they were doing what they were doing, and then you have protesters. So it just is like one big bullshit. It's all. I'm tired of being played, and that's this is like a distraction.
You feel like you've been played because you were a supporter in the beginning. I said this the other night.
Yes.
You get angry either when you've been wronged or when you are wrong, and you're upset because you were a supporter. You supported the idea and the concept, and then you found out the actual motivation probably wasn't what you were sold a bill of goods.
Exactly.
In other words, yeah.
Exactly. All of this, it pisses me off, and it's like your chats, and I'm like, you do have to have a thick skin. I knew that going into this. I already knew have things put into place. Like the reason I even put my name out there and I put like my address. And, I knew that there were going to be like these people who were threatened by the truth. They didn't want it, right? So I got that. I understood fully well that there's going to be these people that want you dead by your house. They're going to pull all kinds of shit. Like, I figured that out. So, I mean, I can say I'm okay. I don't have to worry about as much to say. I have to be aware. I still have to be careful. But I don't, you can't be an American and say what we don't like, and we're going to come out and kill you, or we're going to threaten you, we're going to intimidate you, we're going to put an RO on you, we're going to sue you. What triggered it is when Santa came out, David Rydell, and said that he's going to start suing courts, these counter protesters. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You don't have a right to tell me what I can and can't do with my money. I have that option at all. Like, nobody does.
As long as you're not threatening. You can protest. You can protest as long as you're not posing a threat.
Yeah, but
and the way the paperwork, the way the paperwork was because I've seen the paperwork. The way it was laid out was he made it sound like he was terrified, because of perceived threats, and the judge ruled in his favor.
He wants to sue
Or-
people who are paying testers, like sending them money. That he wants to attack those.
He wants to attack.
Yeah, he wants to go after the people counter protesters.
The people that are supporting counter protesters?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes, in his live, clear as day. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know if they're trying to pull the same shit they did in Canada. I don't know. But I'm like, look, if I want to give $5 to Snoopy, I'm going to give $5 to Snoopy. If I don't like, say, the Red Baron, I'm going to use stupid terms. I don't care. Red Baron.
No.
And, like some other, character gives money to the Red Beast. I don't really care, like, what you do with your money, and you shouldn't care. Don't get me wrong, Doofus. When I was paying money towards all these asshole streams, like Cookie, like all of them, Joe and Quincy, oh, my money is fine. Oh, not a problem. But the minute I started waking up and seeing and my money started not going to them, but to other people. And in the crowd, he wants to do that for anybody that's giving money to, or Bree, or Lori, or J Met, or anybody he doesn't agree with. I'm going to do that. So that really is what put me over the edge. I'm like, that's it. I had enough. I'm like, no, you are not going to fucking do that to people. No,
I'm not. I'm trying to figure out some kind of legal grounds that he could possibly do that, and nothing's.
It doesn't.
Yeah, nothing's coming to mind.
Doesn't mean shit to him. He doesn't have any kind of doing this shit, and I've talked about this with people who understand the law very well. They understand processes, and within the magistrates, the office, the judicial court, these frivolous ROs, and if there's anybody that would even allow suits to go through, that's the problem. Like, what's their motivation? Because the law is the law, obeying the law. Because if they had any sense at all, none of these they did not have. You cannot go with just the proof of one side to do both sides. This would have never gone through. None of this would have happened. His goal is to break financially the counter protesters. See, he's got money. He can afford to do all this frivolous bullshit. He's got the money. But that comes up against him, any kind of dissension, he wants to get you. As long as you get the money and it's breaking you, that's all they're giving. That's all they want. Hey, make Aunt pay, make J Met pay, make Pluck pay, whoever. They want to make for not agreeing with them.
Okay.
Doing is not constitutional. They're going against the Constitution.
I just got a notification here, asking about one of the squirrels said on one of Lori's stream that they were paid $10,000 to set up the. Do you know anything about that? To set the others up? Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that.
I was just told to ask Mom Michelle about it.
I know that.
If that is the case, then that is the one thing that the federal government had always been wouldn't they weren't going to get involved unless there was a quid pro quo, unless there was you do this for this money and So
Yeah.
that might be the evidence that might unravel that whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it, so I don't know. I'm just
Yeah, I
going
didn't
off.
either. I would
Somebody
say
asked me to ask you about it, so I figured you were in the stream.
hell no. They can ask the person themselves to any of this shit. How the hell would I know? And that's like kind of the problem. Like they lie, they cause drama, and I don't know about Red or Melanie. I don't know, or Ninja, whoever the fuck is doing this bullshit. I have no idea what you would have gotten, what Lori would have gotten. You're gonna have to go. You don't go on to Doofus and expect to ask me. How the hell would I know? Have them answer that. Yeah.
Okay. I'll wait and see. I'll wait and see if we get it. But who asked me wasn't any of those people that you just mentioned. Yes, they figured you were probably on one of the streams, or you were probably on the stream when it happened. I don't, you know. Okay. How did?
See, I've blocked a lot of. Can't see a lot of things. It's like I have a lot of people blocked, so I don't.
You have a lot of people blocked, so you're not seeing everything in my chat, probably.
Well, yeah, I only see a few. Yeah, I don't see game dev. I don't see Chance. I don't see who Chase is. I definitely don't see any of the squirrels. I don't see none of like the 76ers and the.
I don't know. I haven't been watching the chat, honestly.
Yeah. Ariel,
yeah, I wish we could hear Vaughn better too. It gets a little shaky once in a while, cuts in and out every once in a while, but I think we can, we can fill in the gaps. I think, I hope anyway.
Okay.
So just a little background for those that don't know, maybe hearing you for the first time, don't know that you have a channel. You kind of got involved in all this. You had no intention of being a live streamer. You had no intention of.
Hell no.
Explain to everybody how this. Give us the backstory.
For money. Yeah, I don't even do it for money. Like I refer it.
Right.
I won't do it for anything. I don't get any money to animal shelters or other streamers, and I list in my description that I say donate to, but no, I never for the money, never for this and that. And that's kind of why I did it too. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it's like I am the grifting and the bullshit that's going on, and it's like drumming up the drama for more content views, more money. This is bullshit. It is. I know there's like a lag here.
Yeah. You wanna pop out? You wanna disconnect and come back on and see if that fixes it?
Yeah, leave and then just hit the link. Put the link back up, and I'll
try it
again then. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Again, thank you all for being here. We're going to get Vaughn Michelle back up here. And again, thank you all for watching. I'm able to look over here at the chat for just a minute. Hi, Nurse D. Cunning Stunt, hello. I just saw somebody else said hello. That's why I said hello. I'm not scrolling back up. Hopefully, Vaughn gets back in here and we can continue our conversation. Special live Saturday night, late night America, and chat is off topic. I'm doing good, Curtis. Thank you, man. Thank you for asking. I'm feeling good. Feeling good. Thank you. The Indiana team playing Purdue University from the state of Indiana was in the Big Ten Big Ten championship game tonight in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium, and Michigan waxed them pretty good. I think it ended up 43-22 or something like that. And then tomorrow night, the Colts and the Cowboys on Football Night in America on NBC.
There
So
you go.
that's tomorrow night. There you go. There's the tree.
There's the tree.
And we got a good,
Better?
clear audio. Much better.
All right.
Much
okay,
better.
Turned down. I didn't have it on before, but that's cool. All right.
There we go.
You can see the dog sleeping. Okay.
All right. So the first time the first time I became aware of you was at the courthouse
Yep.
in West Virginia.
Yep. Yes.
Was that your initial involvement with all this as far as broadcasting or live
Yes.
streaming?
that was my first one. Yes. Well, I did a test one, but yeah, that was my first one.
It was awesome.
Was it? I didn't think
Yeah.
about that.
It was, yeah, because you said, and in your words, I could hear so many hundreds of other people
Yeah.
that had bought in
Mm-hmm.
and were PO'd about being conned.
Yep.
And you kind of let it all out
Yeah. I don't know where that came from
at first.
even, but it did. It came out. Even like the part, like, I want my money back, Oreo. Oh, shit. I have no idea where it just came out. And I don't know. It's like something inside of me just went, I've had enough. Okay, I'm done. This isn't what I signed up for. I wanted freedom, the Constitution, this country to get better, blah, 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 but no. And every time I'd ask questions, I would be bullied and harassed, and it just was a lie. And it was that fateful trip. It was a long 12-hour video thing that they did, that Scott had done when, everybody was at the mall that night, and it went all the way into like the next morning, and he's doing the flag dance. Remember, he was wearing the flag. He was doing this, like, he was like half naked, and he's on the mall, and he's wrapped in the flag, the pride flag, right? Lori's flag. And I was like, I'm like, this guy is out of his fucking mind, right? I'm like, there's something. I hated him. Oh my God. I hated him so bad, right? And
I've heard this a lot too. That people hated Ant the first time they saw him. People hated Lori the first time they saw her. People hated AP the first time they saw her.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, blinders have come off or something, and it's like, I see why they've been doing what they've been doing.
Yeah, like
a lot of people have that same.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's what happened, and it's like he took us for a little ride. He jumps in his van, and we're up to Bunker Hill, and it was like, and then he started passing out the papers, the actual like proof. Like, I'm one of those people. Like, I need, conspiracy theories are one thing. I need the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, the how. I keep drumming that into people for a reason. Okay, I'm like, you've got to get the facts before we go saying what you say. It can't just be emotion based. You've got to know for sure. So when he had those, the paper, the whatever, the rap sheet, I guess, for Marcus Coppock, and he was passing them out at the local businesses, and you would see some of the reactions, and it was kind of chilling, like, this is like, people were like, yeah, this guy was just here. I'm like, what? We're told he hasn't been there, blah, blah, blah. And it just was like, and it's not Ant directing it. He wasn't like telling people to say shit. He was just going about and saying, here is a fact. This is this guy's sheet, blah, blah, blah. You either accept it or you don't, whatever. And he kept going to business after business. And that did piss a lot of those people off, and tough shit, you shouldn't be doing business with pedos anyway. But
so it's like you started to see the veneer cracking, because the fact that they would lie, it's like I had my suspicions. I would ask where's, whatever happened to the money that was from like the TPC on down. That's a lot of money. What happened to it? One guy's what took off with it. Well, where's it at? Nobody would really fess up to anything, and they skirted the way they skirted around these questions, and especially in the chats and then the bullies and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? It's a simple question. I'm not talking bad about you. I just wanted to know. It's a simple question. And then you find out I'm not the only one with these questions. A lot of people have the same questions, and then more. And I didn't follow the convoy as much. Like, I didn't go to it, and I didn't, like, I would watch some of the streams, but I wasn't like heavily invested in any. I still to this day cannot tell you the names of all these people involved. I have no fucking clue on all of them. I really don't. I know what my name is, but I can't catch up with all these fake ass names of people that people have, right? So, I watched this, and then, Aunt clarified a lot of things. And then the next thing you know, you're watching the sheriff show up at Taco Bell. And my mother just happened to be walking through that day. She was going to the kitchen. She said, what's this? And I says, that the crazy shit I've been watching, blah, blah. I says, I thought these were the bad guys. And then, I said, they're really not the bad guys. And now the sheriff is like, she goes, he's not allowed to do that. And she knew from my dad, like he was the cop, but he wasn't that kind of an asshole. She goes, they're not allowed to do that. They're hiding something. I'm like, okay, Mom, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, she could see from the law enforcement and, perspective, like there was something wrong with Berkeley. Like right there, like that told her there's going to be problems with this group here, and there is, there's a lot of problems. And I don't know, that was the start of it for me to realize, man, we were really lied to. And it just all came, watching from that time frame when I realized what was going on to watching more and more of it. And I guess I did it just kind of came out, I was on film and it kind of came out. And that was it.
That's the best. Those are the best live streams. You see people that are streaming and everything's scripted, and it's scripted, and it's just, I don't know, it's not real, it's not passionate. The best live streams are just speaking your truth, in my opinion. Anyway, and well, I was going to ask. So, I don't want to harp too much on it, but you mentioned Ant passing out the flyers, okay?
Yeah.
And he was doing that and some people when they actually, like you said, you have to see it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Following, okay? And then when Renoir comes out with her video, I think it was on Rumble, so not everybody could see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Telescope comes out with his video, actually giving it a wider audience. The people that are still there, you have to wonder if there isn't another motivating factor for them being there, because it's become obvious it's not just the one person that has this background in this group,
there's
even
several.
though this
There's several.
Okay, so basically what I'm getting at is if they are a group that is planning to be a part of an insurrection, then having a pedophile is something you can overlook for the greater good.
I wouldn't think so. I think the opposite.
Most people, but what I'm saying is this is how they are looking at it. Like this is something we can excuse because we need the bodies when the fighting starts. And that's such a ludicrous thing to come out of my mouth. Just like when the fighting starts. But I'm deeply concerned that that's how a lot of people in those movements are looking at it. It's not a matter of if the fighting starts; it's just a matter of when.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to be on any of their sides. I refuse. I don't give a shit. I am not going to stand alongside them. I know how to cover me. Okay. I'll protect me and mine. And stay the fuck away from me. That's going to be my whole thing. So, this is what you're all planning. Don't you fucking even think about it. Keep on fucking going. Because this ain't the house for you to be stopping at. Because this ain't welcome for you. I know what I need to do. And that's, what I'll do. But I am not fucking standing with people who think it's okay to rape children. I refuse. And I won't stand with you because you condoned it. And you just look the other way. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Because to me, then every person out there that's been raped as a child, who's had a child raped, who's been around that, who's had family members, they are going to be looking for you. So just so you all understand, you people out there who want your little revolution and your little insurrection bullshit, you better understand that there's a whole lot more of the people affected by the shit you're covering up or you're sitting alongside and you're aligned with, you're supporting, you're lying, you're pretending isn't happening, okay? A lot more people were affected by the shit that has been done by those you aligned with. That's what they all have to understand, Doofus. There's more people out there. And that's the one thing they have never stopped to still to this day. Not one of these bastards have given a shit about the survivors, the people that this has happened to. They've never cared about how it's affected their families, their loved ones. They don't give a shit. It's like, like you're saying, they just, if we need to fight, we need the manpower. Well, let me put this to them also. Look at how your Florida convoy just turned out. A couple cars. Nobody showed up, did they? So
I don't know. Is that what happened?
Not many people. No, not many people showed up.
Okay.
Not at all. And if all you have fighting with you are a bunch of pedos, you better worry about every one of those people out there that has been affected by your pedos and your pedo simps and your pedo supporters. I want nothing to do with them. I won't. They don't stop.
And just to be clear, you are a conservative. You would identify as a right wing Republican, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, at one point, yes, you could say that. Yeah, I'm not so sure any longer. But yeah.
Yeah, good to have an open mind.
Yeah, at one point, this has changed me, so I can't say that this is where I stand any longer because it's on the left too. Don't get me wrong. You've got the pedophilia is so disgustingly it's embedded throughout our society, and it is worldwide. It is in every aspect of the society and of culture, and it is and it keeps perpetuating because of that attitude. Well, we need somebody to fight with us, so we're just going to look the other way. While you diddle children, we're just going to look the other way. And see, that's
and I'm not making that as an accusation. I'm just throwing it out there as something to think about. Is that what's going on here potentially?
Yeah, that is what's going on. They're looking the other way for the greater the good, and it's not the way. They're not thinking it through. They don't think about how deep it goes, the pain, and how many people have been affected by this. And there's high level people that have been affected, and they're not repeating the pattern of pedophilia themselves, but they understand the pain. They know how horrible this is. And I don't think these groups are getting it. They're not understanding that, it's not something you can just excuse. There are too many people affected by it. And I hear anymore like, well, they're saying pedophile just like people, the left always has to say that we're racists and bigots and white supremacists. And now the word doesn't mean anything. And I stop them and I say, hold up. You have a choice to be a racist, a Nazi, a white supremacist, or whatever the hell you want to say. You don't have a choice to be raped. Now, whether it's by a pedophile or any sex offender, because now we're finding they have sex offenders in these groups too. So the difference is one is a choice, the other is not. So you do not choose to be raped as a child or as an adult or whatever. You don't get to choose that. It happens. And it's not to be excused or dismissed, or like you get read making fun of people and saying that they're victims. And that's not the mentality, at least in my chat. Nobody's a victim. Nobody's feeling sorry for themselves. They're not trying to be strong to overcome it all. Like, you know, they're mocked for it. That's not what's going on. The common sense factor has been completely eliminated with this entire group. They don't stop and they don't think about the shit that they do and how it affects other people. They don't ever take it into account. There's a lot of people out there affected by this, and they don't appreciate this particular group and all their bullshit. And then, you know, what, you're sitting on a lawn for freedom, you're sitting on a parking lot for freedom. You've got a woman who had an RV that does these disgusting porn videos with children on the parking lot. So, you know, they can do a timestamp, they can do IP address searches. There's a way to find out if she was doing it where there were children around. I mean, there's a way to check that kind of shit out. That's not hard. So I don't know all that was going on, but they don't have a right to attack like the counter protesters when they're doing shit themselves. And the counter protesters were like, look, originally, I don't know what the motive was with any of like the rats. I have no idea. You know, I don't know. So I'm saying, you're asking me about $10,000. What the fuck would I know? I don't know you people. I don't give a shit. You know, ask whoever the hell you think got to 10,000 or whatever. I don't know what they're talking about. But
I don't either, but I'm going to have to go back. I've got to go now and do some searching through some videos and see if I can find it. See if, you know, because, you know, it brings up a good point. Yeah. A lot of things get discombobulated, they get blown up, they get twisted, they get misrepresented from chats, from stream to stream to stream. Right. You know, right. Not saying that's the case here or not, but anyway, you mentioned, and I want to bring this up, a 28-year-old cop from Virginia catfished a 14-year-old girl in California, pretending to be a 17-year-old boy. He drove across the country and killed the 14-year-old girl's family. And while trying to kidnap her, got involved in a shootout with police and was killed.
Wow.
The dangers of online.
Yeah.
Bleeding over into real life. Somebody was talking in one of the streams I peeked into about online crushes, having a crush on an online personality. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but okay.
You know, you understand what I'm saying, that people have crushes on online personalities.
Okay. Yeah, I'm following.
You get where I'm, okay. Is that potentially dangerous, in your opinion?
I guess it would be. It doesn't, that I know of, affect me. Like, I don't have that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have anybody I have a crush on, and I don't know of anybody. I mean, nobody has one on me, so I don't know. I'm sure it does have, an implication. I'm sure. You know, Craigslist has an implication. You can't trust that. I don't think that in today's world, just like with Fortnite, you know, like I tell the story of how, you know, one of my family members, her son was playing Fortnite and was walking, you know, because I stayed after she lost her husband. I stayed with him for a little bit, and I was walking by and I could hear him talking, like, who are you talking to? And he's like, oh, it's, you know, my friend on this game. And I kind of lost it because I'm like, you don't know who you're talking to. It could be some old lechy pervert on the other side that you're, you know, because that's what I said to my cousin. I'm like, you got to watch him. You know, you can't let the kids just do their Snapchat and their TikTok and their games. You don't know who they're talking to. You know, like that. So I do get that, you know, very much so. Like, that's why I say, like, I want the facts. I want to see, I want to know, I want those questions answered. That's, you know, I need the facts. I don't know what the hell, like these people in chat, you don't know, like some of them I've met, so I can say, yeah, that person exists. But I don't know everybody. You don't know who's on, you know, what side. Like, that's what I'm saying. We are in a snow globe now. Everybody is just like twirling around and around. And I don't know where we're landing. You know, like we keep hitting up against the snowball, you know, against the glass, where everything is so jumbled. You just don't know who to believe, what to believe. You don't any longer. And that's dangerous.
It is quickly get to that point that it's like, well, maybe you're not who I thought you were in a lot of situations, and not necessarily for me, but as I'm observing everything going on, I can see that happening for a lot of people.
Like we used to believe in Wizzy, and we used to believe in Oreo, and we thought they were telling us God's honest truth, and it's all bullshit for grifting. You know, just like we were duped. How many people were duped, right? Hey, thanks to the $5 super chat, Darlene. Boom. You know, Taco Joe slams into a car. You know, it's like about the goddamn money. He wasn't paying attention to reality, the car right in front of him. He was worried about the freaking $5 super chat. Like, that's the kind of shit we've been exposed to. Like, we believed in all of these different people. And it's still going on. I mean, you're still getting bullshitted. And that's the thing. It's like, it's not just this. I mean, it's in it's like I'm saying, we are in it. This is a distraction. Like, look over here so we don't see what's going over here, like in the government and all the other bullshit. Because there's a lot of stuff that we're being distracted about. And the people who willingly participate in that distraction is what I have a problem with. That's where I came in and said, I'm done. I have had it with this shit. You know, I'm tired of people not, you know. Yeah, Kat, he did say, what's your deal with that? Yeah, Aunt stayed here. And guess what? I even invited freaking the rats to stay with me. So they'd have a free place to stay while they were traveling, Kat. I also offered it to Lori, to J-Met, you know, Jersey J, all of them. While they're traveling, they would have a place to stay. That's what you do out of hospitality, Kat, unless you have a problem with that, which apparently Kat does. You know, that's what I'm saying. You get these idiots. Well, so, no, I didn't necessarily know them, every little bit about them, but I was pretty sure they weren't going to be raping me or stealing from me. Of course, now with Red, who the fuck knows, you know, the way he acts. But no, you're right, Kat. But that's your problem, but it's not your life. It's my life. So if you have a problem with it, you deal with it on your own. Go see a shrink, but whatever I choose to do is on me. These are at least people I could see. I wasn't talking to somebody that I didn't see. These were people that I could see. They were tangible. You could see them. There's a big difference.
That was the next thing I was getting ready. That was the next point I was getting ready to bring up was, do you find difference in being able to see somebody and because, you know, when you're in person with someone, I think I'm a pretty good judge of character. Yeah. I can read people pretty good. So, you know, but kind of the same way online. Just words, when it's just words, you know, on a chat or on a screen or whatever, it's a lot more difficult at times to read into, you know, actions and all kinds of stuff.
Right. And still, even when you meet people, and that's just in general, you could work with people who, like Ted Bundy, he's the crazy guy, and then he killed people, right? So I could know you my whole life, and you could still be a serial killer, and we wouldn't know that. Same with this pedo shit, okay? And that's the thing. It's like, if I don't know you're a pedo, how the fuck am I responsible for that? But the minute I find out that you're raping children, you know, and I have the facts and everything, then yeah, I'm going to make sure I get the fuck away from you. I don't want nothing. I'm done. If you're a family member, I don't give a shit. I'm done. Like I have like that limit. You know what I mean? Like there's just certain things I'm not going to cross. All right. And that's it. I don't give a fuck if it was, you know, a very close family member. If I find out, I'm done. Like that's all it takes for me. I'm out. You know, that's something I don't tolerate. I don't give a shit. I'm not, you know, I can't fathom that you want to do that to a child. And then the people who make excuses for it, that's another thing. I just don't get it. Like you got the proof, but you don't even believe the proof. And then you find out it's not just one. There's more than one with this particular group. And I say the affiliates because they have so many offshoots now. They're like gremlins. You feed them water, they keep growing. So every one of them seem to have somebody that's either a sex offender, a pedophile, some kind of shit in their background, the criminal background. So, you know, I don't want involved with that kind of shit. It's that simple. I can't afford to be around people like that. That's just not how I roll.
Well, and that was you know, that was the uniting issue, so to speak, with Ant, with AP, with Lori, with Pluck.
Right.
Well, you know, it is the pedophilia that brought them together. They really care. They all really care about that, because all of them, they're incredibly diverse and at times polar opposite views on a lot of things.
Right.
Ideology-wise, they're not united on every single issue. The one issue that united them all was trying to expose pedophiles.
Exactly. And they stuck to that. Like, I mean, maybe if they would have come into it with like maybe a different motive, that motive would have changed at that point. Like, you know, I don't know the entire background because, again, I didn't do this convoy bullshit. So I didn't know who Ant was. I didn't know who the squirrels were.
I didn't either.
Lori. Yeah. You know, none of them. So I know that a lot of these people did, you know, they had met at one time. They had known one another, whatever. Some of them, you know, I don't know if there's a complete backstory with any of them. And even if there was, I believe this bullshit took on its own life form because of this insistence of forgiving and giving a second chance to pedophiles. Like, no, that's fucking wrong. I don't give a shit. No fucking church I ever went to said, oh, yes, please do forgive the pedophiles, the child rapists. No. You know, suffer the little children, right? Like, you don't fucking do that. Like, there's, and even in a Catholic church, okay, they finally were held accountable for their bullshit, all right? So that took a lot of work. And I have a state that I have, you know, the Attorney General worked on that, and he was able to at least bring them, you know, to some sort of justice, all right? And I appreciated that because the church never was held accountable. Everybody knew about the altar boys and all this shit with the priests, but nobody ever did shit about it. So at least, you know, Shapiro was able to do something for that. So that's something that, you know, I'm glad he was able to do that, but it still goes on. You still have deniers. You still have the people that say that, you know, well, you know, you're making it up. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah. I'm like, well, the fucking facts are this, okay? There's court documents to back up that, yeah, your blessed fucking bandit is a goddamn child rapist, okay? I don't care what extent, you know, that you people want to believe it as. Like, what does it take? You know, like Dixie saying the time about, you know, I was responsible for taking down, you know, somebody who was extremely guilty. And I'm like, what the fuck is extremely guilty? Somebody explain extremely guilty versus just a little bit of guilt. You're still fucking with children, whether it's mentally, emotionally, but physically, there's some sort of penetration, you know, like what does it take for you people to understand that it's all wrong? There's no levels or degrees of it. It's still wrong. You know, it is never, ever okay to rape children. And it's like you have to keep telling these people it's not okay. You can't excuse it so that you can have a stupid freedom movement. You're not going to have a freedom movement when you have this kind of bullshit. You have David who like keeps excusing it, saying that, oh, we got rid of the person, now they're back, and you find out it's more than one, there's two, no, wait, now there's three. It was just like, you people can't get your shit straight. You cannot blame counter-protesters for your failed business. It's you that did it. All of you and your horse shit, lying and all this stuff, people saw that. People could read through this bullshit. They knew something was wrong. Like, you've destroyed your own business. You don't have the followers because of the lies. You allowed pedophiles. People knew that. They left. When they found out, a lot of people left this movement. And it had nothing to do with the counter-protesters. They just don't want called out.
Okay.
And I can't read all of this chat. I don't care, Mags, whatever the hell you're telling people, I don't give a shit. But I will tell you this much, motherfucker. I don't come to your house. Don't you fucking dare even think about coming by my house. I'm going to tell you now. I don't want to have to do an RO on you or your wife, but I promise you, you fucking stay the hell away from me. I don't go near you. I don't play your game. I don't do your kind of dirty shit. So stay the fuck away from me. I already got pictures of the old house. Is that some kind of threat? Was that a threat that you put my photo of my old house out there? You had fucking Melanie showing that? I doubt sincerely Squirrel drove up to Pittsburgh to take a picture of my house. And that ain't no Google Maps photo either. So yeah, doofus, that's what's been happening. They've been fucking threatening.
Wow.
They're so
I did not know that.
Yes. They're taking pictures of people's fucking houses because they think that's cute. They can intimidate and threaten. It wasn't even my house. And I was going to even drive, like I'd said the week before, because like if I go to the store, you know, everybody come for a ride, right? And you've got this Brenda Baldoff, this Hope that's in Red's chat threatening me. Like they know where I live. First of all, I never hid where my current house is. It was in Scott's stream. It's on my streams. I don't hide it. And I keep saying, you assholes should stop and ask yourselves why I would even bother putting my address out there. There's a fucking reason, you morons. You're that stupid, okay? Once again, you're not very bright. But then you send out these fucking people to take photographs of my old house. And I'm like, what, you know, and the squirrels knew my real address because I had emailed them back when things were great. And I said, if you guys need a place to stay, you're more than welcome, blah, 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 which I did for all of them. They were all welcome. So I don't, you know, other than threats and intimidation, there's no reason for you to put any of our addresses out there. I'm not putting yours out there. I don't give a shit. You know, you people are all about wanting to shut women up, trying to intimidate survivors. You go in, and the sickest thing I've ever fucking heard of is Dixie going in. I don't know if it was Richard Cranium, dickhead, all right, going in and pretending she was a survivor into how many of these chats of women who really are survivors, and then laughing about it. That, you know, that like that's funny. You sick fucking assholes. How is it funny? You're pretending to be a fucking survivor. That's sick. And you admitted it too. So that's definitely, and you're supposed to be working around children in like a school setting. I wouldn't let my kid fucking anywhere near you people. That's fucking gross.
Wow.
That is all on film too. See, that's the thing. This is shit they do. It's on film. And how many, you know, and it's been recorded, so they can delete all they want. Other people have their fucking proof. But yet,
oh yeah. There are a lot of people that record everything.
Right. I don't care if I'm recorded. I have no problem being recorded because I can back my shit up. But you motherfuckers in that group, you know you're wrong and you're fucking trying to threaten people. You're having fake ROs. I'm sorry, but when I studied law for just a little bit that I did, my ass would be in fucking jail for filing false ROs. How many of you filed false ones that were even thrown out? You belong in fucking jail. The shit you've done is beyond illegal. You've broken constitutional rights, civil rights. You act like you're not allowed to have anybody come up against you and say what you don't want to hear. Because what? You'll put them in jail? You want to put people in jail for saying shit you don't like or sue them. Well, sorry, sweetheart. I know the defamation laws and everything said about you is backed up, and you do not get to sue your way out of the truth. And you don't pull people into jail because you don't like what they're saying. It doesn't work that way.
It does work that way in fascist regimes.
Right. And that's
it does work that way in Iran. In Iran right now, if they don't like what you say, they can put you in jail and kill you.
Right.
And
right. Tanya,
and again,
rushed it in there. I'm pulling it together. You're lucky you're in America, Tanya, not someplace else.
Okay.
Your chat is like full of these rats, full of them. Because you don't like the fucking truth. You call all the counter protesters Antifa and BLM. When you goddamn know they're not BLM and they're not Antifa. You say that you're afraid of them, so you have these stupid ROs put on them. You are the people that are fucking throwing rocks at the counter protesters. You're swerving goddamn tractor trailers trying to threaten. You very easily could have killed ants. You spun rocks out on J. Matt. You pulled a gun on Direwolf and Scott. You pepper sprayed Scott. How much more proof do these courts need? The counter protesters are not violent. They're saying words that they are legally allowed to say. You people are doing actions, pattern of behavior. So much so, folks, remember when the ambulance up at Berkeley didn't want to go to Bunker Hill because you people scared them so bad they needed they needed the sheriffs to escort them for the ambulance. That had nothing to do with the counter protesters. That was on you people and your swarming bullshit. And you swarmed at the courthouse too the day I was there. So the pattern of behavior, you don't have very good pattern of behavior.
By swarming, you're talking like mob mentality.
Yes, they swarm in and they hover. They like swarm, like, and it's an intimidation factor is what they're doing.
Okay.
But,
go ahead.
No, it's just there's a lag, so I was waiting for you. Yeah, David sits back there. He sicks his dogs on people. Mags, just like I said, stay the fuck away from me because I can guarantee my car don't go anywhere near you fucking people are. Your cars better not be coming where I am. Okay, that's how easy this goes. You stay on your side of the fucking city, and I'll stay on mine.
You said how can the courts allow all this to happen?
Yeah.
With all this information, and
right.
You listed things
right.
that have happened. Are the courts aware of these things that, have the courts been informed about pulling a gun, about Lori hit in the face with a marble or a rock or something from a slingshot, and
Yeah, they watch the videos too. As far as Berkeley goes, I know they've admitted they've watched the videos. So some of them, they know. I don't know.
But while law enforcement may watch the video, it doesn't necessarily mean it's into a court or in front of a judge. I'm just wondering how much defense the counter protesters have actually been mounting in court.
I know. I don't know. That's something they all handle that stuff. I have no clue. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's enough of evidence, that's been gathered. I know that much. People have been watching, and there are eyes watching. you all have to be sensitive to think that there's not other people watching this shit show. Like that's what I said. Like whatever happened on at the lawn itself, I'm like, you were in the city, DC, okay? That's one of like the most protected places on the planet. There's not a nook and cranny, not a corner you can go down without a camera. Okay, there's cameras everywhere. They see what you're doing. They hear what you're doing. It's like the real Santa Claus, okay? They fucking know what has been going on. They know
who's naughty and who's nice, right?
They definitely do. Oh, they definitely do. They know a lot of shit that these dipshits never sat back and thought about. They never fucking thought. Yeah, you should have thought about that. Because I guarantee you, we're not doing all kind of shit you're supposed to be doing. So, I don't know. I'm just, and these assholes in these chats, I love it. I'm like, you know what? Your hate is my reward. That's how I look at it. Kat, you know what, sweetheart? Thank you.
I haven't been paying attention to the chat, but go ahead. No, that's fine. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, because it's going to be direct towards you more than likely. So go ahead and respond.
Yeah, I do. It's like, I love it. You're my fucking reward, man. Your hate is my reward. I know I'm doing something right. Like I said, I don't want to be liked at all by pedos, pedo simps, pedo supporters, grifters. I don't fucking want anything from them. I don't want your goddamn like at all. Like, I don't need your approval. That's how I look at it. Like, I'm glad you hate me. I'm glad. That means I'm doing something right, because you people are fucked in the head that you even think that this is okay. I can't hear now. Can you hear?
Here?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I will, Tanya. Tanya rushed it in, whatever the fuck. I will talk all I want. And I'll make sure I have everything I talk about backed up, too. Fucking people. That's not bad, though. Actually, your chat's not that bad. It's really just that I can see this, too. And that's fun. And Wendy, I don't know about what Red has a girl in Vaughn's neighborhood that follows her around. Who? There's nobody following me around. I don't think so.
Following you around?
Mm-hmm. I don't see anybody. They know not to come on my property because I do live in a castle doctrine state. So whoever this little girl is, she knows she ain't going to be, crossing on my territory here.
Things have changed a lot in the past 50 to 60 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Women are much more involved, and have a much more stronger voice when they allow themselves to.
Right.
And they're going to be threatened by that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Threatened by that, and that alone.
Yeah.
Do you think?
They don't like strong women. Yeah.
Not only that, but I mean there are other factors. But yes, they don't like strong women. Do you think that it's all a waste of words, because nobody's going to hear that hasn't already heard? Nobody's going to change their mind that hasn't already seen.
You mean like with the pedophilia?
Yeah, the fact that we just keep trying to expose, and are we just? And I'm saying we, but are all of you that are doing this just hitting rinse and repeat, and everything's falling on deaf ears? And that has to be frustrating and tiring, if that is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I look at it like this. Okay, they want you to give up. They want you to quit. They want you to shut up. They want you to fucking go away. And if you do that, then they win. So my thing is, though, don't stop. You have to keep going forward, because eventually one of them's going to have it happen to them, or it's going to be a family member or some shit, and it will resonate. It'll click. And you don't want to see that happen, but it somewhere along the line, and like I said this too, and it's been proven true, that a lot of these people have either they're doing it themselves, okay, or they have been, they've been raped, all right, they've had this happen to them, or they know somebody that's doing it and they're covering for it. I mean, it's a lot like the Stockholm syndrome, all right, but it's like for pedos, right? So they've been attacked, they've been raped, and they don't know how to process it. So rather than deal with it, they go to the avenue where you're the bad guy because you're talking about it. Like they don't want to deal with it at all. So they'll keep covering for the pedo, and they'll pretend like it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to deal with it. So they're just going to hate anybody that brings it up or talks about it, or that's strong enough, who's dealt with it themselves and they know how to handle it, and they can't themselves handle it. So, you're the bad guy. There's a lot of jealousy involved in that respect, because I think a lot of them want to actually be able to cope with it, but they can't. They don't have those mechanisms. They can't get to that point where they can get the help they need. So they're going to lash out. And that's, and a lot of them are finding out that some of them, they inside of this group even are actually survivors. I'm like, well, then you think to yourself, well, you should know better, but they don't. They're going to keep going along with this bullshit. So,
Okay. All right. Thank you for coming on.
Well, thanks for
and especially coming on short notice. You're welcome back anytime. And you bring a unique perspective. Someone that was a conservative, Republican right wing, and
right,
and have had your eyes open to a few things. And
yeah.
And the same should hold true to diehard left-wingers.
Right.
They ought to have their eyes open to a few things.
Yeah.
Just to be clear about it, all right? Because we're kind of focused on this one little microcosm, but at the same, there's a whole lot of crap going on in our country and around the world. And
if anything, I came to the middle.
All right.
I just came to the middle with it all. So that's it.
Yeah. Stuck in the middle with you. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am.
Right? Right? There you go.
All right. Thank you very much, Michelle, for coming on. And
thanks, Chad. Even the haters, thanks for hating me. I appreciate it. You make me better. And thanks to all those who support. And please, help those who need it. Better.
That's the one thing, there are people that just because you disagree with them, they want to kill you.
Yeah.
Those people are dangerous and need to be. And most of us aren't like that at all. It's okay to disagree, because it's a big old internet. There's a lot of places to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This group, they send
Great
people
night.
to our house. So, thanks for sending the haters to my house, guys. Really appreciate that. So on film, but thank you. All right, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Von Michelle, everyone. Interesting, incredibly interesting interview, and a lot of strong opinions, and that's a positive in my opinion. Okay. All right. Hey, there's a whole bunch of people here. I appreciate it. A lot going. Chat is flying up and down here. I have no idea what's going on in there. So, I'll just give you like a 3 or 4 minute warning here that we're getting ready to shut the stream down for the night. I will not be on tomorrow night. I'm not going to do a Sunday night. I'm not going to be on Monday. I'll be on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, and probably Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday of next week. And thank you again to Von Michelle for coming on on short notice, and now it's kind of cleared the schedule for tomorrow night. And it's VON, capital VON, capital MICHELL. That's her channel. That's her channel. Night, Lori Arnold. Night, baby. Telescope, LEB, Tupelo. Everyone that's been in here, thank you. Thank you for. I'm hoping you had productive dialogues in the chat. I'm hoping that you have an open mind as you watch the show. I am hoping that you understand we give you things to think about. You make your own decisions, your own choices. And I greatly appreciate y'all clicking on here and coming on to the show. Again, we'll be on Tuesday night, 11 p.m. Not sure. I'm going to try to get somebody in mind that I'd like to have on as a guest, and we're going to try to make that happen Tuesday night. So I'll let you know in advance. And again, just kind of a recap in case you're just joining us and you weren't with us in the beginning. Behind the Mirror was back up on YouTube today for a very short little broadcast. Could that be foreshadowing of something to come? Donald Trump has said it is time to terminate the Constitution, and in order to reinstate him as president. And it could be a harrowing time. I certainly hope not. I hope it's much ado about nothing. But I have a fear it might be a tumultuous 2023. Ninja, not rumors, hon, but you know this. Okay. ACB, baby. Mater, watching people fail and win. Oomph. Refuse to lose. Ruth Sanders. Everybody that was in here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate you all being in here. And Telescope says my next video will demonstrate that they're not rumors. Red wants to be a rapist. Yee. You're welcome, Tupelo. We'll do it all again Tuesday night. L. Smith, thank you for being on here. Boris, Wanda Losa, Jules, thank you all. Have a great night. Have a great rest of your, now it's officially Sunday, 1:43 a.m. on the eastern part of the country. That means it is 12:43 Central and 11:43 Mountain and 10:43 Pacific. So you all have a great rest of your night on the West Coast, and all of us in the Central and Eastern time zones. Have a great rest of your Sunday, December 4th, 2022. And I love you all. Be blessed. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to email, it's americandufus@gmail.com. All one word, AMERICANDUFUS. And if you want to help support the show, you can cash at me, $americandufus. All one word, AMERICANDUFUS. And also links in the description below the video for buying the novels online, or if you want an autographed copy of the latest one, hit me up in an email and we'll make arrangements on that. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. This has been Late Night in America, special Saturday night live edition on the American Doofus channel. It's a dark world. Try to be a light. I love you. See you next time. Again, thank you so much for watching. Love somebody. Be good to somebody. Be good to yourself.